Oh shoot, headphones. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Okay, so sorry I'm a little bit late, folks. Was just kind of going over a couple things before we got on here live. So here we are. I'm here today talking with Steve Erato over at Eagle Nation Cycles over there in Neenah, Wisconsin. Those of you who've been watching the recent videos I've been making, you know that I've been uploading the videos about what happened over there to Steve's good friend Michael Funk in the hostage situation that resulted from Flat Off, that the guy that basically instigated this whole situation in almost every way. The whole situation that went down at Eagle Nation Cycles back when this happened. And so I'm here today talking with Steve. He's gonna kind of show you guys a little bit around the shop there at Eagle Nation Cycles. He's going to be able to show you some of the places where the bullet holes are, and how much gunfire was actually taking place when these officers came in prematurely, kind of bungled the entire thing. So obviously he's going to show you guys a little bit around so you guys can see some of the perspective of where these events were taking place. So, hi, Steve. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. So you want to show everybody around there, the shop, and give them a little perspective of it?
You broke up a little bit. You want me to walk around now?
I was going to say yes. If you wanted to take everybody on a tour, you can go ahead and kind of show them around right now if you want to.
Okay.
There's some really cool bikes in there, folks.
Really cool bikes in there.
Let me lock it in on you. Hold on. All right, everybody, there you go.
Okay.
And that would be like where? That would be like towards the front of the shop, like towards the street, or?
That's towards the street.
Okay,
that was
that
Michael's
way?
work area.
Okay.
And now this is the back door.
Okay, and that would be into the alley. Okay.
Is the back door.
And there's a little staircase.
That leads to the alley.
Yeah. Okay. And then when they came in, they stumbled down the little steps below that door, right?
Right. I don't know how clear it is.
Right.
This is the cops came in.
I see the steps there. Okay.
It's the alley.
Oh, that's interesting. Why is it not showing you? It is not showing it. That's a bummer.
Okay, that's the door where the police are. Okay, you want to stand where? Okay, now Kay is standing right there where Flat Off was.
Yeah, hold on a second. For some reason, you're not coming through to the viewers. For some reason, you're showing up in the Hangout, but on YouTube isn't switching over to your video for some reason, and everybody's saying they can't see it. Oh yeah, that's lovely. What is wrong? I've never had this happen before, so I'm not quite sure what I need to do here.
You want to just talk then?
Yeah, we can just sit down and have a chat. And maybe I might be able to figure out what's wrong.
Okay.
As guests join, hide their audio.
What did you say the problem was?
Just trying to fix it.
Broadcast a large video that I see my audience and hide the other video. That's really odd. All right. Well, yeah, we'll just have to chat, apparently. It's not actually a surprise, actually. YouTube's been giving me nothing but grief over the videos I've been doing about this. Absolutely, completely giving me nothing but grief. So this is probably just them again. Anyway, it sucks when you have to battle your
I'm
own.
glad you said it because I was feeling the same way.
It sucks when you're at odds with your own platform, but what are you going to do? Anyways, so sorry guys, you're not going to get to see the shop there. It is really cool. I actually got to see it because I'm looking directly at the hangout, but unfortunately you guys didn't get to see. There's really some cool bikes in there. It showed you the perspective of the room and where the door is that these officers came through when they tried to do their little raid, and unfortunately you guys just don't get to see it because for some reason the hangout's not working properly. So we're just going to have a chat with Steve and talk about some of the things that happened here at Eagle Nation Cycles in Neenah, Wisconsin, and just create a little bit more awareness. You guys know I'll be there next month. I'll be there in June, and him and I are going to meet up when I get to Wisconsin. So you guys can look forward to that as well. So how you doing, Steve? How are things?
I'm doing fine.
Right on, right on. So I guess one question that I'm actually curious about is how it came about, how you and Michael kind of met up and ended up starting a business together, a motorcycle shop.
Well, I used to be a millwright at Miller Brewery for 20 some years in Milwaukee, and I had an industrial accident, and I had to not work there anymore. I lost my job because of what I couldn't do. So I decided to start my own business. Always worked on bikes, always had an enjoyment for them. Knew Michael at the time, told him I was going to start a business, asked him if he wanted to be involved with me, and he said he did. So that's how we started the bike shop.
All right.
So this was 1998.
1998. Okay. All right. And then so you were just, having to transition from that job. You and Mike met up and had a love for bikes and started the shop, essentially.
Correct. But I did know Michael quite a bit before that.
Okay.
We weren't real close, but we got closer as we started the shop.
I see. So he worked at kind of the same place you did? Or
No. We were just friends from the bike scene, I guess. That's how we know
I
each other.
see. Okay. Right on. That's cool. And were you guys both in Vietnam as well, or?
I was in Vietnam, active combat. Michael was Vietnam era. He was in the Air Force era. So he stayed, I believe. He wasn't in Vietnam, but he was at the same time period.
I see. Okay.
Eagle Nation is a state-sanctioned, disabled, veteran-owned business.
Right.
We were approved by the state.
Okay, right on. Well, it's even a bigger shame when this kind of stuff happens to veterans. So that was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to ask about that. Get people properly angry about this, and the young whippersnapper who doesn't give a crap about human life that I saw in the videos that I saw of Hoffer. So anyway, moving on from that, I have actually another question. Like, just to get an idea there in that area, what's the attitude towards the bikers there, like by the public at large? Are they cool with all the bikers? Is there a problem that kind of comes up? And I'm just wondering what the feeling there in the area is regarding it.
No, there never really was any problems at all. It's just that the police kind of created the problem.
Right.
I think they needed an enemy, and we're about it. This is a really nice small town. We're connected to the Fox Valley, but there's only 25,000 people in Neenah. It's a very nice area, and we had been here for about 10 years, never had any problems at all. I was on the mayor. It's called a bid board, business improvement district. I used to meet at the mayor's office once a month, where businesses talked about, how to improve things in Neenah.
Right.
And then as soon as they decided they wanted to develop this area, that's when we started having problems.
Okay. So yeah, it's just, I obviously I can understand where guys like Flat Off would have been giving, bikers a bad name. I mean, 6 times he's getting popped for driving under the influence, and he's taking no responsibility for himself. So I can imagine where guys like that are bad apples are rotten, ruining the barrel, right? Or affecting the barrel, right? So
That's correct. But me and Michael never met Flat Off before.
I imagine
we had
that's
never
true.
Met Flat Off until the day it happened.
Yeah, Flat Off seems like a bit of a loner just by his lifestyle, just by his choices he makes. So that's not all that. Huh? He was what?
He's out there.
Yeah, I could tell. Just the story that paper talks about him waking up that morning and the things that he gets up to that are just a normal day for him. I was just like, wow, that's some profound mental illness there. So but
he was on probation when this happened.
Right.
And the customer that actually bought the bike from him got a hold of the judge and said he's having nothing but trouble with this guy and that he's worried that this guy's going to do something violent. And they never did anything. But they were warned ahead of time of possible problems with him.
Right. Can you, I just wanted to ask, could you actually sit in front of the camera a little bit more so people could see you actually? Yeah, sorry.
Is that better?
Yeah, absolutely. And we can actually hear you better. So that's awesome. Cool. Okay. So it's, obviously there, the thing that gets me about this, I'm just before we get into the more kind of grisly stuff of this, it occurs to me that, here where I am, the bikers, the whole biker thing has become, it's no longer just fringe people of society that are doing it. I mean, I happen to work in home automation. I'm a technician. And so I work in a lot of very expensive homes, and it's, not uncommon to see a hog in the garage for a very rich corporate executive and stuff like that. It's not uncommon to see that sort of stuff. So I got to imagine there's a higher scale clientele that's, coming to these bike shops and buying bikes and getting their bikes repaired or buying parts or, that sort of stuff. And that's what kind of boggles my mind about this, is why they're taking such a bad tack when it comes to what was going on with Eagle Nation Cycles here. I would think that they should recognize the value in that. I don't know. That's the way it is here. I'm just saying there's a lot of very rich and upscale people here that ride their motorcycles and are very passionate about it. And I got to imagine, is it not the same way there in Wisconsin? I'm just wondering. I imagine, I don't know. I wanted to see your take on that, actually.
Oh, absolutely. We've got doctors, lawyers. We've had a lot of people that were regular good customers of ours.
Right. And so it's not like people are just, causing trouble at your bike shop all the time. It's not like the place where troublemakers gather to cause trouble, right? So, right. So, this is just things that
were issued
more perplexing and leaves us all questioning why is this happening then, right? In which we're obviously going to be getting to some of the potential reasons for that. But like I said, these are some of the things on the surface, folks, that make you wonder what's happening when you look in further. So, obviously, I just think it's ridiculous that they're singling you out, but it seems so obvious they have. And so I guess as we move into, I guess, what happened in 2012, what is for you, what do you think it is specifically that they decided they wanted you out? Is it because they wanted the building? Is it because they didn't like the element, or a combination of maybe I'm wondering what you think their motivation was.
They wanted the building. They're developing this entire area. This was an industrial area when we moved in. And Right now I can show you world headquarters all around here from different businesses that are within 20, 30 yards of my shop now. They've wanted us out of here.
All right. Yeah.
And you also have to remember, from the police perspective, if they could have proved, which they tried their best to do, that this was drug related somehow, they could have seized the building.
Right.
The SWAT team, Craig Hoffer and company, could have sold the building to the city, and they could have kept the money.
Right. Wow. That's disturbing.
I know that's what it was over.
And how does that work? Is that actually on the books that SWAT officers are able to do that, or is that like some kind of shady backroom deal that allows it to happen or something? Or
No, it's
I'm
law.
just wondering if we can find documentation that that's something that SWAT officers actually do, is take things
You should
seized
be able
and
to
sell
find
it for
it.
personal profit.
You should
All
be
right,
able
we'll
to
check.
find it.
We'll
Yeah,
have to go
they're
look.
allowed to seize property in a drug rate and keep it.
Okay, interesting. Very
And that's
interesting.
what they were trying to do.
Even a structure and land. Even that.
Absolutely.
Wow,
That's what they were trying to do.
that's very interesting. That SWAT would have that much power. That's just scary,
Yeah.
actually. So, all right, let's take a look at the live chat here real quick.
The swap offer.
Yeah.
Called forfeiture. Okay, so my lawyer friend Travis is with us, by the way. He's letting me know that it's called forfeiture. It's perfectly fine for SWAT to do that, even with a home or a business. Travis, just to get the clarification. Travis is his name, by the way.
Hi, Travis.
Hi, Travis.
It's called civil forfeiture action. Even with a house, though.
Yep.
And thank you, by the way, Jane, with them. Thank you so much. And I know you can't. I know you guys can't see Steve. I understand that the Hangout's not broadcasting properly on YouTube. If you want, send YouTube an email and complain to them about it, please. I would really love it. So let's see here. All right, he's not going to answer my question about. So I guess it applies to the business too. Yes. Yes, if they can show a drug nexus, they can take the building. Okay, so there is that stipulation. There has to be, like you were saying, the drugs have to be involved, and then they can claim the building, right? So that would explain the fishy missing 20 seconds of the video that they confiscated from your security cameras, right, in the shop.
Correct.
From 2012. Correct. Giving it back with 20 seconds mysteriously missing, and what do you know? Hoffer's finding a tiny little piece of bud somewhere, right? Little piece of marijuana or whatever, right? Somewhere. And it's like,
yeah, and the police chief just was happening to stand right outside my office and waited for Hoffer to call him in so he could show him.
Yeah. So, yeah. And it's funny how Hoffer is at the center of these things, folks. Isn't it? And we're supposed to believe that he had no awareness of who Michael Funk was, and that he wouldn't have recognized him as the business owner behind, Eagle Nation Cycles that day when he shot him. I mean, this is the thing about this, folks, is people in Wisconsin, that area of Wisconsin, need to see what's going on here, and at least prevent this from happening to somebody else, because I guarantee you, this Sky Hoffer has no respect for human life. He's a terrible human, absolutely abominable. So hopefully if nothing else, we get the just dinosaur, chiefs of police and chiefs of sheriff's departments out of that area. So get some of these dinosaur judges replaced that are allowing this corruption to happen. But it's going to be up to the people of Wisconsin to help do it. This is your guys' land. It's your place. So it's going to require you to get out and vote and make these things happen to a certain extent as well. But we'll all be out here also making awareness and doing what we can, obviously. So, all right. So now we're going to move in. So we established that the city of Neenah there would like to develop that area where your cycle shop is. And they've started to, as you're saying, right? And now
Correct.
I feel like yours is in the way. And so we believe that the city of Neenah is now trying to encroach and trying to take over your spot so that they can continue their renovation of that part of Neenah, I guess you would say, right?
Of the downtown.
Yeah.
We're the only area that's not developed downtown.
And then that leads to 2012, where I was just talking about what happened with the video during the raid. And remember, folks, the article described it as a militarized raid. Right, highly militarized raid, right, or style raid, and
absolutely, I'm ex-military, and they had as many military vehicles as they could get here.
Right on. So we know that they came in, and then there's 20 seconds of video missing, and suddenly they're finding something that they. How long was he in there when that was found? By the way, how many were they in there for? Like 30 minutes before that was found, or do you recall?
I'm not sure because I was not there.
You were not there, but how long
But
in the video?
The dog was in there.
Yeah,
There was a
All right.
canine unit was in there.
If there's a canine unit would have certainly picked up a marijuana bud just sitting out somewhere, right? I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. So yeah, there's some strange things about it, and obviously that's pretty wild though. But it does show that that would be motive for them to want to plant drugs, because then they could sell that property back to the city, which we already established was what you felt was the ultimate goal or the reason for all this to be set in motion in the first place. So that's really disturbing. So the 2012 raid happens. There's how much marijuana was it, by the way?
About a joint is what they
joint. Okay, all right. So how much? What was going to happen about that? What were they going to do about a joint's worth of marijuana? What was going to be the consequences?
Well, originally they also found some guns in the basement, but the only reason they were some hunting guns that I had gotten permission from my wife's PO to put here and keep them locked up. And they found them along with the drugs, and they tried to make it like a drug and gun operation. Well, neither one was accurate at all.
Okay, so it just didn't have any legs, and it didn't work.
No, it wasn't accurate.
And so it fizzled out. Okay, and then you guys, right, because you feel slighted, and you feel like they were about to screw you, and just failed because you actually weren't doing anything wrong, right? So now you guys get, want to kind of get, some awareness to what happened there and whatever it is, and you filed a suit, right?
Correct. We had an attorney that showed up. We walked him through, told him everything that happened, and he filed a lawsuit.
Right. So this was, and tell us about the lawsuit.
Well, just so that we keep it straight, Craig Hoffer was the one who led the raid in 2012.
Okay,
he's the one that had
the
lawsuit.
That's interesting.
The lawsuit was filed against what he did. Oh,
I see. So he was personally at stake, folks. Sound familiar?
In 2012. So the same guy same man that commanded the raid, the same one that in 2012 is the same one that shot ML in 2015.
Right. It's like,
and he had been in here numerous times before. He knew me and ML. For him to say that he didn't is a lie.
Right. It's bizarre. Yeah. And he's everything's disingenuous about that guy. And like I said, on top of it all, the guy just has no respect for human life. No, I don't know any. You know what? Even if I killed somebody and I felt it was a good kill because I'd done it because I was reacting in self-defense and I felt like it was my life or their life, and even in that situation, I would still feel bad about having killed somebody. I wouldn't like it. It wouldn't sit well with me, no matter how much they deserve it or whatever. But to see him finding out after he even got the wrong person and he looks like he's about to dance a freaking jig. It's like, dude, you're a horrible human being. Please go away. Just terrible. Oh my God.
Okay, now another thing I think you need to realize is most of the information that you originally got all came from the Department of Justice investigation. Now, I'm the owner of the building, and I was here that day along with the two other hostages. We were never allowed any input whatsoever into that investigation.
It seems wrong.
Hoffer was given 4 days from the time of the shooting to meet with union reps and his attorneys and reviewed the tapes that they had before he gave a prepared statement of what happened.
Right.
Now, that's never allowed.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like sectioning him off, but that's also what they do too. I mean, circling the wagons. I mean, it's not unheard of. It may not be right, but it's not unheard of, right?
Right.
All right, I'm just reading a couple things. Some people are expressing how sorry they are about everything that's happened, and they wanted me to let you know that.
Thank
So,
you.
let's see. So, all right. So, obviously, the 2012 raid goes down. Hoffer's the leader of it. You guys are filing a civil suit about it being a violation of your rights. Obviously, that's going to be targeted straight at Hoffer, who was leading it. And suddenly, you guys begin to have trouble now, not only with Dina, but with Hoffer himself. Seems like it becomes personal, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. And that is true, because the clip I uploaded, folks, earlier, those of you who actually got to see it, I don't know how many of you did, but the clip I uploaded earlier today shows you Michael Funk is sitting there and he's on the phone. He's talking to somebody, telling them who's there in his bike shop. And he's on the phone and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got an officer." And he leans in to like read his name tag and he goes, "Hoffer here." Okay? That means we know that 5 months before Hoffer shot Michael Funk, he was inside that business and saw Michael Funk's face up close, saw him talking on the phone, all that sort of stuff. I mean, raided his business in 2012. Am I honestly supposed to believe that this guy would not recognize Michael Funk when Michael Funk came out of the back of that business that day when this all went down? I mean, am I supposed to really believe that? And are you guys supposed to really believe that?
You had Eagle Nation shirts on.
Let's see.
We all had Eagle Nation shirts on, and also the police were told ahead of time what what Flatoff was wearing. He had blue jeans on, a hat on. It was described to the police ahead of time who not to shoot and who the shooter was.
Right, exactly.
So they were given all that information.
Well, I mean, for me, the tell is in just watching how Hoffer acts afterward. I mean, when you find out it's the wrong person and you're still happy about it, it's like, I think that guy suits up because he hopes he's going to get to kill somebody today. That's what I think his motivation is, and I don't think that's a proper motivation for anybody. I think that's scary. That's like serial killer shit. You know what I mean? To me, except he's just using law enforcement, kind of protocol to be an occasional killer. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's just, I don't see how he could be so gleeful about what he did, finding out he had gotten it wrong. That's to me the real big cherry on top of this whole situation is his lack of remorse, even when he knows he.
I've always said that Michael Funk was murdered. Michael Funk was
very
murdered
much looks that way, and I'm sorry, but because of Hoffer's lack of a soul, that's the way it appears. And I'm sorry for those in Nina who find it upsetting, but I'm sorry, dude. That guy is soulless. He's scary. And you guys should be scared of him as much as I am. So, so that's all I'm saying. That dude is just very scary. Sociopath, some were saying. So, okay, so we're the lawsuit moves on. And I believe you were saying at the end that it got real strange at the end with the lawyer you guys had hired to take the case. Do you want to go ahead and talk about that when the case got dismissed and stuff, or any other?
Okay, yeah, the case was dismissed, but you got to remember at the time that Michael was shot by Craig Hoffer. At that time, the case was still active. So I think Craig Hoffer was under the assumption there's a $50 million lawsuit filed, and he's going to be on the carpet for it.
Right.
So This was about 2 months after Michael was killed. I got a phone call from the local newspaper. They wanted my opinion as to why the case was dropped, and I told them I wasn't even aware of it. I didn't know it was dropped. Well, what happened is the attorney forgot to tell me, Michael, and the other people at the time, or earlier, forgot to tell us anything about showing up. So nobody showed up, and the judge threw it out. And there is no recourse to that.
Well, that would be ineffective assistance of counsel. So,
well, we've had a bunch of lawyers look at it, and the only appeal we could have done would have been that the judge's decision to throw it out, and the judge has a right to make the decision if the people don't show up.
Oh, Well, it's a shame. It's a shame. I don't know. some of the things about the law are strange, but yeah, that's essentially what my friend Travis has been saying. He said no, it would be malpractice. Actually, not ineffective assistance. It would be malpractice.
Well, and the attorney had no malpractice insurance
And he had no malpractice insurance. Okay,
at the
so
time.
basically, you were squeezing blood out of a turnip, even if you pursued it, right?
Correct. What a coincidence, huh?
Right. Yeah, it's a sad situation for sure. Um, so yeah, ugh, God. No matter how I think about it, I imagine myself in the position. You know what I mean? It's like if I was in a hostage situation and I managed to get out the door, I mean, just to imagine that I have to now contend with the person I'm getting away from, and now the people who came to save me, and I have to somehow try to deal with both. I don't know. I don't like that idea. That's a scary idea. I mean, it's scary to think that you jump out of the frying pan and end up in the fire.
Well, if you get to review the security tapes from inside the building,
Yeah.
which I know we hopefully will get to you,
Mhm.
you'll see where Michael was waiting on the police. The police enter, start shooting the place up, and then they besides falling down the stairs, they turn around and ran out. The
Yeah.
officers that fell down the stairs abandoned their equipment. They ran out the door. Well, what happened is after they ran out the door, Flatoff says to Michael, "Go close the door." He didn't want it open, and he said, "Don't bail out, or I'll open up on you." Well,
Right.
Michael just walked to the door because I'm sure we were all waiting on the police to come in and, save the day. Well, I'm sure
Right.
after Michael saw the cops abandoning everybody in the building.
Come in there and bungle it and abandon them, right?
Yeah, and knew that the Flatoff had said he was going to kill anybody if the cops were called. So I don't even know why they bothered to enter if they're going to turn around and run out.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that Flatoff, who was drunk and had a stolen weapon, backed off a professional SWAT team and had them run out the door and abandon the hostages, one of which was a 76-year-old neighbor in poor health that just came over for coffee that day.
Right.
So when you come here, you can meet him.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it is. I mean, how did 6 officers somehow not be able to, get one immensely drunk guy, under their, out of, it's mind-boggling. The incompetence, the initial incompetence, coupled with Hoffer's bloodlust, makes this situation such a train wreck. If Travis is right and there's nothing that can be done for this situation directly, I sure as heck hope the people in Wisconsin start recognizing these things, that they're happening, and taking measures to get it under control. I seriously think the people in Wisconsin have a right to not be policed by psychopaths like Hoffer. I don't think that guy should. I don't think that guy should carry a gun, and I don't think that guy should have a badge. That guy should be sweeping floors somewhere.
Well, just so you know, he got a promotion after this happened.
Oh, I know. He got an award. Just that's what the state of Wisconsin does. Hey, Wiegert and Fassbender, you abused a 16-year-old kid. Here's an award. Here. That's just the way Wisconsin rolls, and it drives me insane. So, anyway. All right. So, and then obviously that brings us to, well, somewhat to the day this all happened. And I don't know, you want to kind of talk about what happened that day a little bit, or how to kind of walk people through, what happened or what went down?
Well, it was an average Saturday morning. I came to work. Michael was already here sitting at his desk.
Can't hear you.
Computer. You can't hear me?
It's very low. You're very low.
It's exactly the same way I've been.
Uh-oh. You were sounding pretty loud there for a while. Suddenly it just went. Say something?
No.
Okay, that's better.
Is that better?
A little bit. Try to sit closer to it, maybe.
I'm really close to it.
Huh.
Is that better now?
Goodness gracious. This is bizarre that this hangout is just not acting right. Now it's deteriorating. We try. All right, say something.
Is that any better?
That's better.
Good.
All
Okay,
right.
well, I came in the morning like I normally do. Michael was already here. We were expecting kids. We usually used to put on a breakfast every Saturday morning.
It dropped out again. Seriously, as soon as you started talking, it dropped out. All right. I tell you what, Steve, since the Hangout's not working anyway, go ahead and call me on my phone, and I'll just put my phone by my microphone, and I'll talk to you that way.
Okay.
All right.
Should call him directly.
Yeah,
all right, guys, we're going to change this up a little bit here.
Hey, what's the number?
Okay. Okay.
310 310.
Hey. Easy, buddy.
422.
All right. Hey there, folks. Just waiting for Steve to give me a call here. You guys were able to hear him? Oh, he got real low on my end. Hello.
Hello?
All right.
This is Steve Erato.
All right. Hey, buddy.
My phone was not working. It wouldn't go through. Verizon said the phone call is not any good. So I borrowed a phone.
You borrowed a phone. Oh.
Tell me I can get through to you.
It's bizarre. What is going on, dude? The Hangout breaks down. The phone doesn't want to work. It's like, hey, you got people there in Wisconsin working against us or something? Or I don't know. Anyway.
Think maybe?
It's just odd. I've never had this problem. It's just strange. It's hilarious. So, all right. So go ahead, I guess, and let us know about what actually happened that day. I'm from, obviously you were downstairs at the cycle shop, right? So
kind of just. What happened is I came in that morning. I talked to Michael. That's what we normally did. I got a workout area in the basement, and I got an archery range in the basement. Every morning I would go down there for a while. And that's what I did. And as I came walking up the stairs, Michael motioned for me to get back down. He was sitting at his computer. And I could see that there was a guy I didn't recognize, but I could just see his back.
Right.
And then Michael motioned for me to go back down. And as soon as I just started walking down the stairs, I heard a gunshot go off. So I called Michael's cell phone, and I said, should I call the police? He said, yeah, right away, and then he hung up. So I knew we had a problem. So I called the Neenah police. It was 5 to 9 in the morning, and I said, we have an active shooter in the basement, and in the building, and we need help.
Right.
So they just told me to go to like a secure area in the basement, and that they would handle it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And what a bang-up job they did, folks.
I offered that I would come up and. Because I shoot archery every day down there. I'm a good shot. I offered to come up the stairs, and they didn't want me. They said to leave it, the police would take care of it.
Yeah, right. And they did such a great job. So,
yeah.
Obviously, they end up hastily putting together a 6-man team who bungle their way in, and right?
There was a lot more officers than that here, and they got here really quick. I don't really know how that worked, but they got here almost like within a couple minutes of the phone call. And Hoffa was in uniform, even though he was on family leave. They got here really quick. But they didn't come in the building for a while.
That's
He chose to
interesting.
wait on
He was on
for a
family leave and he got there that quick.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's really interesting. Is there footage of these guys outside like milling around that day?
I
Or
believe there is some. I believe there is some.
that'd be interesting to see.
I know we're trying to get it all together, everything that we've got,
Right.
and we want to make sure you have it.
Right. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see them milling around out there and to see Hoffer as part of them as one of the first responders when he's supposed to be on family leave or something. That's awfully
Very
fishy.
unusual.
Yeah, that's very, very odd. Very
We
strange.
also had a few other very unusual things that happened. And one of the main ones is that no one that has ever, in like 21 years of being here, no one has ever come to the back door and knew which of there's a couple doors back here, one's locked, one's open. Mr. Flatoff knew exactly where to park and which door was open to walk in. And that's why I know Michael must have thought this was an older customer, because only someone that's been here on a regular basis would have acted the way he did the way he entered the building.
Right.
And he had never been here before.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. Yeah. I don't know. There's just, after watching that video today and knowing that Hoffer just had more, he just had this continuous involvement and contact. This whole situation stinks. And yeah, and I'm just puzzled at your attorney not helping you, not by the way he handled things. That's, to me, puzzling. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
There's a whole lot that doesn't make any sense, but I think that the local officials here are well aware that if you just ride it out, there's really nothing that can be done. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and I agree. That's what the dirty areas of Wisconsin seem to believe. That's something that's become pretty evident to me in following Making a Murderer. So it's bizarre. I mean, just look at Len Kaczynski. I mean, that guy's perfect proof of how corrupt it is and how accepting they are of the corruption. Just, my Lord, it's just bizarre to consider.
And I know Len Kaczynski.
Huh?
I know Len Kaczynski.
You know Len?
He came in here. Yes, I do.
Really?
Not as a close friend or anything, but just an associate. I've met him before. When he was running for office, he asked if he could put something up at the building here.
Oh, wow.
And
he did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unusual.
Okay, well, don't tell everybody that, because they hate Len now. So
I don't get involved in his politics. I've never met him.
oh, I understand that. I understand. I don't talk about politics here. I don't talk about politics here on my channel either. So, yeah. But that guy sold Brendan down the river, and so we don't like him, regardless of his politics.
Okay, but have you noticed one thing that's a connection between both of them? Stephen Avery also filed a large multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the state. Well, that's the same thing we did.
Right.
And I think that's a way of telling people that's not what you do to the state of Wisconsin here. Right.
Because you're
going to have a lot of problems if you pursue it.
Yeah, or they are going to eventually succumb to the tidal wave of people paying attention and continuing to put the pressure on them, and they're eventually going to have to clean up shop. That's what I hope for, anyway.
I hope so too.
So, but okay, so obviously then they bungle in, they bungle out, tail between their legs, running like little girls, except for Hoffer, who hung around just hoping he could shoot somebody. I know. God, that guy's disturbing. But, and so.
Well, another thing that I would like to add, if you wouldn't mind, is that along with the other two hostages, were taken to the Neenah Police Department in handcuffs, and they were planning on arresting us for the bait pile that Hoffer, that story he created that we just were trying to draw them in so we could shoot them.
Right.
Well, they were going to arrest us for that. The DOJ came in and said, no, that's not going to happen, release them.
Right. They knew what a bad press day that would have been. Hoffer doesn't understand that. Hoffer's an idiot. He's got his head so far up his own ass. But yeah, so that's also a very interesting point is that folks, they were treating the hostages and the people here who were the victims, they were treating them like criminals, right? Why?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why are they doing that? And it's just, there's so much around this that just doesn't seem right. And obviously Hoffer is the big sore thumb that sticks out, but there's obviously a lot of other things that don't seem quite right with it either. Obviously that clip I showed you earlier where clearly Hoffer and Michael Funk had contact 5 months previous to this. We know that Hoffer was there in 2012. He was leading that raid. He was personally implicated in the $50 million lawsuit that they had filed for the civil rights violation of the raid on their business and all that stuff. And when we look at it, they were really trying. They thought they were going to find some kind of drugs there, obviously, so that they could use that to seize the building, and then that way they could continue their upgrade of that area of Nina. So I mean, there's a lot here that just looks very, very fishy, very, very, shady. And I hope you guys will help us draw more attention to it. So, I know YouTube's being completely uncooperative at the moment. So hopefully everybody will be able to get out there on Twitter and stuff like that and share the videos around and just get some more people aware of another little pocket of corruption over in Wisconsin that is allowed by the judicial system there. So
We were really hoping that everybody would just tell the truth and that the truth would just come out. That's all we were asking for.
right.
It was just, we wanted the truth. We wanted a transparent investigation, and we should have been allowed some input in that investigation, not a DOJ just taking over. We'll write the narrative. This is what happened, and there's nothing you can do about it.
CYA, CMA, covering their ass. We
have no choice.
Yeah, it's true. So it's bizarre. It's truly tragic. I mean, I know when I first did the videos, I was just blown away at number one, the number of shots that they fired into Michael. But then after I watched it go down and after what I saw happening there, and wondering at what Hoffer thought he saw happening there. And then to see Hoffer happy about what he'd done when he knew it was the wrong person just set me off. And it's funny because I had completely forgotten about this thing, Steve, honestly, until about 3 or 4 nights ago. My friend Allie, who has a YouTube channel, she's actually here in the live chat commenting. She had a live, and they were talking about things where police had gone too far. And so I just got home from work and was getting ready to eat my dinner I had brought home from work with me. And I said, oh, you guys should look about Michael Funk. And I hadn't talked about Michael Funk in a year and a half. And they were like, oh, who? Or whatever. So as I was sitting there trying to eat my meal real quick, Allie's like Googling it and talking about it. And eventually I got my food down and I got on there and started talking about it. And I was talking about it for about 25, 30 minutes and got pretty passionate and got a bunch of people fired up. And then you guys ended up contacting me the next day. It was just bizarre, but I had totally just lost touch with it for a long time until literally 4 days ago. But it all came right back to me. It was really odd, but because it was just such an injustice. It was just such, looking at it, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm the type of guy that I can understand, oh, it might have just been a mistake, or whatever, that, that type of situation, high charge situation with all the emotion and the adrenaline and everything, that a mistake like that can happen. Yes, that I can understand. What I can't understand is how gleeful Hoffer is upon finding out he killed the wrong person. It's like he didn't feel like it was the wrong person because it was the person he went in wanting to kill. That's what it looks like.
Exactly.
That's what it looks like.
That's been our opinion all along, is that Michael Funk was murdered by Craig Hoffer.
It certainly looks that way in every aspect. Like I said, you guys, if you haven't seen the clip I uploaded earlier today, folks, check it out. I uploaded it about 45 minutes before this started. I got home from the job I had to do this morning, and immediately sat down and got it, uploaded for you guys. I talk around it a little bit, but it's a 3-second clip of Michael Funk. He's on the phone and he's saying, "I got an Officer Hoffer here," because he's telling somebody on the phone who's there, and it's basically Officer Hoffer right there. It's inside the shop. Okay, and it's 5 months before Hoffer ends up shooting Michael Funk. So when you hear the defense from Hoffer that he didn't know it was Michael Funk, he didn't recognize Michael Funk, he had no way of knowing who it was, that's a lie. That's disingenuous. At the least, it's disingenuous, but it's actually just a full-out lie. Right? So.
Michael Funk was murdered.
Yeah, it does certainly appear that way. It looks that way. I think Hopper is a horrible human being, and I'd like for everybody to help just call awareness to this. If nothing else, to call attention to the horrible human being that Hopper is, so that he will not be in the position to do this to somebody else someday. If nothing else, I hope for that. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about here, Steve?
Well, I just want to really thank you for kind of bringing this up again, because it's like we're all aware here of what happened and how we think about it, and the fact that the police got away with murder, but there's absolutely nothing to be done. And then you brought it up again, which is why we did contact you, because it's like we're really hoping that this would get some attention, and we can't believe that the amount of people that have heard about it around here, and just kind of apathy. Everybody's kind of aware of what happened, but there really isn't much you can do.
I know what you mean, but that's the one thing that helps when you drum up enough numbers of people who feel, there just has to be enough people that feel like they're supported in their belief, and then they'll start to jump on board. We all want to right injustices, but our apathy sometimes prevents us from getting involved. So
we are not anti-cop at all here, not a bit.
Glad to hear it, because I'm not either. Some people might take a different attitude if they watch some of my videos. They might think I was, but I'm not. I'm not anti-cop. So
we just want them to be honest. That's all.
Yeah, it's all about well, just like with anything, truth and honesty is the way to be. If you're always truthful and honest, even when it works against you, someday when somebody's accusing you of being a liar, they fall on their face pretty quickly if you have a track record of being truthful and honest. So that's the advantage of being truthful and honest. So for those who didn't know,
I have no doubt that if you and your investigators look into this any further, you're going to be coming up with a lot more of what was buried and hidden, because this isn't all of it.
Yeah, my friend is asking, Travis, my attorney friend from Texas, says, can you ask him about how they ran Chief Wilkinson out of town?
No, he wasn't run out of town. He was allowed to retire.
He was allowed to retire? Yeah.
Yeah, he retired about a year after that happened. He's the one. It was his idea to do the commemorative coins, and no, he wasn't. He wasn't run out of town. He wasn't.
Okay. It's saying. Then he asks if the police commission is worth a darn.
Okay, that's another good story, because the police commission is. I know this is a small town, so me and Kay, who you talked to, used to work for Senator Ellis. She's retired. The other hostage, who is in his 70s and in poor health, and me and Ryan, it was 4 or 5 of us went one day to the police commission to file a complaint. 32 Neenah Police Department officers showed up, including the officer, and just stared at everybody with their arms crossed.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
I said if 30 bikers would have showed up, they'd have went ballistic.
They'd have freaking they'd had a conniption.
Yeah, but the cops, that's what the cops want to do around here.
Yep, they just want to be the only gang in town, it sounds like.
Yep.
So that's why the Wisconsinites, you need to clean this crap up, because trust me, you don't want it to still be there when it goes against you.
That's the point. Who's next?
Right. It's just that's the scary part. We all think, oh yeah, well, it's not affecting me. Well, it could. It could affect you. You could be next, or somebody you care about. So Yeah, it's wild. Let's see.
Well, I do want to thank you for bringing this forward again.
Absolutely.
And we are nowhere near done with it. We're just kind of at a loss of what to do.
Well, you know, it's like I said. I know that Wisconsin has a little bit of a corruption issue there. There's a bit of a foothold, kind of a good old boy network going on there. That's, you know, it's obvious. It's obvious that it's happening, and I hope the people of Wisconsin eventually shake themselves loose of this, whatever it is there that's doing this, because I'm just seeing way too many things. It's hard for me to believe they care about victims' families when I find out in the Stephen Avery case that they gave bones back to Teresa Halbach's family in 2011, and they say that they don't even know what those bones are. So we reawakened a family's grief to give them bones that you don't even know what those bones are? What the hell are you? You know, so there's so many things going on right now in that area, and I just hope the people do eventually get involved enough to really shake these things up and get their chiefs of police and chiefs of the sheriff's department and their politicians worrying about what they're going to do when they go out and vote, and whether or not, you know, they're fed up with some of the crap that they're seeing there. I mean, for me, I'm seeing a lot of things. There's also another case there in Wisconsin that I follow, the Michael Bell case. And that's another one, tragic case where Michael Bell's son was basically killed in his own driveway by police officers, and again bungling. It just, again, with the bungling, and then after bungling it, lie. It's just, I mean, it's a pattern, and it happens over and over there. So hopefully the people there in Wisconsin will wise up and do something about it. But it's been a pleasure having you on today.
They only allow transparent investigations when these things happen. I think that would make a difference for whether it's Michael Bell.
That's part of what Michael Bell fought for. Yeah.
They do not have transparent investigations. The investigations are handled. They write the narrative, and then they say this is it, and there's nothing else you can do.
Well, what Michael Bell fought for is that now an agency can't investigate itself. It has to be an outside agency that does the investigation in a officer-involved shooting. So that was what happened from the Michael Bell case. But then when Michael Bell went to Brad Schimmel and said, okay, I'd like to have an independent investigation into what happened to my son, Brad Schimmel told him, screw you, no, we're not doing it. And
right, exactly.
After Michael Bell had went and got all this legislation passed and all that sort of stuff, he eventually ran into Brad Schimmel, and Brad Schimmel shut it down. Just like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Are the transcripts available from Mr. Funk's case that we can dig in? So do you guys have court transcripts and stuff for when you guys were filing your case? My lawyer friend is asking. He'd like to look it over.
Okay, Kay is putting together all of everything because it's a few different investigators that were involved. We're trying to put a package together of everything we got so that you can have it.
Okay, great.
And his attorney wants it.
Okay.
So Kay is trying to do that right now.
Awesome. Great. Perfect. Okay. Remember, you guys, if you guys want, you guys can put everything onto a thumb drive and mail me the thumb drive if you want. Just so we don't have to wait till next month. So.
Okay.
So, and I'll send you whatever for a thumb drive. I'll send you the money for it. So.
No, we'll take care of it. That's not a problem. I'm glad to do it. We just want some justice for Michael. That's the way we look at it.
Right on. All right. So, any questions from the live audience before we wrap this up? Hold on a second there, Steve, just to see if anybody has any specific questions.
Okay.
Allie Apperson says she'd like to see the investigation and his wife's lawsuit. Oh, I guess people are asking a little bit about Michael's wife and how that litigation went and that sort of thing. Like what happened there.
Okay, that was also all thrown out. This is all by the same federal judge in northeastern Wisconsin. Everything was thrown out. He ruled that the police just did what the police are allowed to do, and that's what happened that day. So it's awesome.
Yeah, nothing to see here, right?
Michael's wife, she passed away shortly after. I personally think she lost her will to live after all this happened.
I can imagine it would have been very disheartening, especially if you were suffering a terminal illness. Oh my Lord!
Yep.
These people who get into power in Wisconsin, man, they have no freaking conscience. Hoffer is the worst, man. I can't imagine. Can you imagine if Hoffer goes on to become like a local politician or moving on to the state senate someday or something? That psychopath. Oh my God, that's a scary thought. But dude, that guy has no respect for human life, dude. That's what I learned by watching him. Is he likes to kill things, and particularly likes to kill people when he can. Very disturbing.
Very disturbing.
So, all right. Well, my friend Travis is very happy that we will be getting our hands on some of the legal papers. He's eager to go through those and take a look at those. Everybody is, here really just fired up. They're sad about what happened to Michael. They have a lot of sympathy for you and his family, obviously, and his loved ones. We'll obviously keep the conversation going about this along with Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. So we'll do what we can on our end, and obviously it'll be great to get the things you guys got coming on. The video and stuff you're going to be sending me. I'll be able to use that to create a little more awareness. So happy to do it, and thank you for being on.
Thank you very much. Kay will be in touch with you. We'll get you everything we got.
Yep, and I'll get you my address so that you guys can send anything you want to me. So.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank your audience for me.
Okay, we'll see you, buddy.
Bye.
All right, folks. So that was my talk with Steve Erato. I am so sorry, everybody. I don't know what the heck is going on here. This hangout, I don't know why it wasn't switching. It doesn't make sense. I've never had a hangout do that before where it wasn't switching between people. So don't know what's up with that. Sorry about that. It really was. I mean, I wish you guys could have seen here. There were some really, really killer bikes in the shop there and that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm so bummed you guys couldn't see it, So he said thank you to everybody. He wanted you all to, he wanted to say, this was the last thing he said was he wanted you all to know he's very thankful. So obviously let's, me and the wrecking crew, we're going to keep the conversation going about this. Obviously, it's not going to get the attention that Stephen and Brendan got or get, but we're going to talk about it anyway, and we'll get as many people paying attention to it as we can. So, do you think Steve could come on again, having been given specific questions? I will be talking to Steve in June. When I'm there in Wisconsin, I'll be there at Eagle Nation Cycles, and we can ask him any questions you want. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is. It's strange. Hangouts doesn't record. No. Or at least not that I know of. I don't know. So, all right. So I hope you guys, found it interesting. Obviously, that's those we were hearing from Steve Erato. He was business partners with Michael Funk. If you guys haven't gone and seen that clip that I uploaded right before this video started, go back and check that out. Seriously, for them to expect us to believe that Hoffer did not recognize Michael Funk is ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. It's completely cuckoo bananas. Okay? That's what it is. It's cuckoo bananas. Okay. Seriously. I don't know if they have a Facebook page, Charla. I'm sorry. So, tweeter freak. So, I'm wearing the dude shirt today. I love this shirt. It's so awesome. Anyway, love the dude shirt. Thank you, Ziggy, for the shirt. There's in one of my other videos, He says that he basically says that he couldn't recognize who it was, whether if it was Michael Funk or anybody else, and that's why he shot him. He claims that he didn't recognize Michael Funk, and that's why he shot him. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm typing in the chat. Anyway, it's the dude, not the Hulk. Hey, whatever. Dude, the dude can't flex and show off his guns. Oh, anyway, sorry. So, anyways, that was my chat with Steve Erato. Obviously, I'll be there next month. Be chatting with them. I'll be there with Scooby. All right, well, Scooby might meet me there, Nina. So that'll be cool, right? I do need help when I get there because I'm going to probably need somebody to help me with camera work, and I'm actually going to be trying to record with my GoPro the whole time while I'm there too, at Eagle Nation Cycles and stuff. So trying to get dual footage. I'm going to be live on my phone while hopefully I have somebody running the GoPro and just checking things out with the GoPro, because the GoPro is the really ultra high definition where I can get really really close up pictures of things. Or where I can really zoom in on things because of the high definition, and I can expand things and everything. And because there's so much high definition there, the pixels still stay, it still looks clear. The image still looks clear. So that's why I'll be using that, because I get the high definition video of it and everything. So got a lot of things going on. So I'm hoping to have hopefully at least one or two people there with me and Nina. So anyway. Hopper's statement says he knew Funk and had been in business. Knew the desk where Mr. Funk normally. Okay, so Travis, that nullifies his claims that he wouldn't recognize Funk when he shot him. You understand? That's the importance there. But I have somewhere where he claimed that he didn't recognize Funk or whatever. So it's ridiculous. The Hoffer had been a plague on Eagle Nation Cycles, Michael Funk and Steve Erato. Okay, he had been a plague on them. He was continuously coming back and causing problems, and being a problem. So it's all stemming from him. So that's the problem here. And I know you may not see a problem legally. I get it. We may not see a problem legally, and that's like I said in the video, or like I've been saying during this video here, is whether or not Michael Funk and his family and Eagle Nation Cycles get any kind of direct, like proper closure, I guess, in this from the state of Nina or whatever, I at least hope that we can create some awareness so that the people there in Wisconsin can start to decide whether or not they really want this kind of stuff happening, and whether or not they really want themselves being policed by psychopaths like Hoffer. I think it's a legitimate question. I think it's a legitimate conversation to start, and so I'm starting it. The law be damned, Travis. Hey, look, Suspense is here. What's up, Voldemort? Got Voldemort in the house. Lord Voldemort. Always do. I had fun first half. Awesome. I just, might need a couple people to help me out with cameras, and obviously there's always the strength in numbers, so that's always good too. So awesome. I'm happy for the people that are willing to be there and help me out. And that's getting closer and closer, the trip, so it's it always seems far away, you know, but now it's starting to get closer. Now we're less than a month away from it. It's like, you know, anyway. No background noise. Do people know where Al Capone hung out? Yeah, you can talk about this more later, Allie. Let me know. All right. Well, see, there you go then, Travis. I mean, clearly something wasn't. I didn't even have him tell the story of what happened with the lawyer, Travis. Anyway, I'm going to save that for when I'm in Wisconsin. I'll put it that way. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off at this point. Thank you all for tuning in to listen to this stuff about the Michael Funk case. I mean, hey, look, folks, even if we can't directly help Michael Funk, his family and loved ones and Eagle Nation Cycles, hey, hopefully we can continue to create the awareness so that the residents of Wisconsin can begin to be informed and make the decision for themselves of whether or not they really find this type of stuff acceptable. If they find it acceptable to be policed by people like Hoffer, and whether or not they want to do something about that. So let's help create that awareness. Let's help give people that decision and remind people that they have the power to make these changes, you know, and all those things. Create the conversation, keep the conversation going. You guys all know my catchphrases, but hey, that's what it is. That's what we do, and so that's what we're doing here. Hey, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. And I love all you guys. Thanks for being here.